very last episode of Season 1, Episode 13 of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's The Black Scorpion, 1957 monster movie that has a lot of stop-motion animation done by Willis O'Brien, who worked on the 1933 King Kong, The Lost World, and Mighty Joe Young. So if there's one good thing about this movie, the stop-motion animation is really good. And the Mystery Science Theater crew has come equipped with some good jokes. This will also be the very last episode Dr. Earnhardt, Dr. Forster's sidekick, played by Josh Weinstein, is on. I will remember you.
Don't. No.
Please.
Will you remember me? To let your life pass you by. So Josh Weinstein plays Dr. Earnhardt, and he also does the voice of Tom Servo. He's going to be replaced next season with Kevin Murphy doing the voice of Tom Servo. Very much improved change. And TV's Frank playing the sidekick to Dr. Forster. Another much improved character. And I did get a chance to meet Josh Weinstein at one of the live shows of Cinematic Titanic. Actually had him sign my DVDs, and he was a super cool guy. Probably the nicest out of all of them, though they're all really nice. Okay, so we have J. Elvis Weinstein right there, Joel Hodgson, it's Mary Jo Pearl, that's TV's Frank. When I met him, I think it was like that. And then Trace Boulay, they're all super cool. We also got to talk to him for a little while. Bring back Cinematic Titanic. We'll do that later. However, I do think it's maybe better that he left this series. Unless they could change his character up a little bit. TV's Frank is much funnier with his deadpan expressions. And Kevin Murphy is the voice of Tom Servo. His pompous, wannabe intelligent voice who thinks he's better than everyone. Fits the character so much better. And we start off with not a bang, but a whimper. The Invention Exchange is, I don't know what they were thinking. But this is how we're going to see Josh Weinstein for his very last episode. He has this horrendous makeup on because Crow spiked his punch with Tang and 10W30 motor oil. So it turned him into an alien. So on his very last episode, Josh Weinstein looks like an alien. And he never gets a proper send-off, so it seems like he left this series in a hurry and they were on bad terms for a little bit. But it seems like they've all made up since then. And we get right into the movie. And The Black Scorpion is the best monster movie we have of this season. It's actually not a low-budget movie. It was done by Warner Brothers. It features a huge cast about volcanic activity that releases giant prehistoric scorpions out onto the Earth. And by the Earth, I mean Mexico, because that's where this movie takes place. It looks like this movie was actually filmed in Mexico as well, along with in America and on sound stages. Because it starts with them going into a village in Mexico. So it's a curiosity to see what it looked like in the 1950s. Like always, the riffs start really hitting hard once the scorpions come into the picture, about 30 minutes into this episode. And we see a ton of stop motion animation. Close-ups of the scorpion don't look as good. However, anytime they're battling each other, it looks as good as you're going to get in 1950. Honestly, I think it looks even better than something like Jason and the Argonauts. Those were a little janky. There's at least a fluid motion here, because they have a guy who actually knows what he's doing. Mr. Willis O'Brien, who's been doing this for 30 years. I think the best part of this movie is when they lower themselves into a volcano, because that's where the scorpions come from, so they got to defeat the scorpions. And they battle the scorpions there. You can watch this episode on the official Mystery Science Theater YouTube channel in good quality. And it features my favorite host segment of Season 1, which is the second one, where realizing that this movie takes place in Mexico and there's a bunch of bizarre accents all over the place, Joel and the boss decide to don sombreros and speak Spanish, I guess. Also, they flash things on the screen very quickly, and if you're watching this live and on TV in 1990, you would have missed a lot of the funny jokes, so I'm going to read some of them for you, because we have pause buttons in 2025. Imagine you had to literally record this on VHS, hit the pause button. Oh man, it was so complicated back then. But this segment is funny as hell, and parodies the movie and also shows some collaborative acting chops. So let's read some.
En su casa, ¿dónde está tú?
El gato y moto a
Well,
moto.
El Gato is definitely cat, so I don't see cat in this, but let's read this one that they flash on screen for a second. My Aunt Ida had to go in once for an ingrown toenail, which, as you know, is not all that uncommon. But anyways, she comes out 2 weeks later, several $1,000s poor, I can tell you, and she was none too happy about that. Who would be? The point is, unless you're on your deathbed or heavily insured, don't go running to the... Just cuts off there. What nonsense. Their Spanish is not even close. But I'll admit it, I lulled.
Moto brio e chili con carne este tu Jose Cuervo.
They then do something quite cool where they give you some information about the special effects of this movie before you can just Google it like you can now. They talk about Willis O'Brien, so thanks. Actually, some info about the movie. Can't be making jokes all the time.
Up to anyway.
Wow, that's perfect. That sounds just like him. What? Oh, right. Sorry. Scorpion is terrific. It's very realistic.
Stop action animation was the one and only Willis O'Brien.
Oh, we thought it was Ray Harryhausen.
Great science fiction characters as King Kong and Mighty Joe Young.
Oh.
Just learning from Willis O'Brien, and that man was Ray Harryhausen.
Yes, Joel, you are correct. I also knew this. Well, I looked it up and realized you were correct. Ray Harryhausen went on to make Jason and the Argonauts, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Clash of the Titans was pretty cool. I still think Jason and the Argonauts looks pretty janky, but Clash of the Titans has some cool scenes. And 1 million years BC. Hold on, didn't I talk about this movie before? Didn't it have a very famous... Oh yeah, Raquel Welch, of course. Zoom in. And then we get a sad send-off for Dr. Earnhardt. In fact, I'll play the very last words he says in this episode. I mean, he won't be seen again until... Well, he pops up in like season 13 or something, but we're so far away from getting to those reboots and Netflix and the Gigaplex. Sorry, Googleplex. How dare I mispronounce that? But we do have some good, clever quips on the movie itself. Especially some ones about how these scorpions actually look more like lobsters, which they do. They look like lobsters.
There.
Don't forget the Alamo.
Once you've tasted lineman, you'll never go back. Bet you can't eat just one.
Roughly translated, he's saying this would not have happened had we installed fiber optics.
Let's applaud for Crow there. A fiber optic cable joke in 1990. He really is someone who sees into the future. And I was thinking, when did fiber optic cables when were they even invented? Well, of course, when you look this up, there were some in like the 70s and 60s. Really, when it started getting implemented, actually working, was the very late 80s. They started putting some in. And I remember, for me, in my neighborhood, it was really the mid-2000s where they were doing fiber optic cables for the entire neighborhood. And I think for most people, it's like, yeah, 2003, I heard about it, 2004, maybe 2000, you were an early adopter. But that's when they really started getting talked about. But 1990. And as I suspected, I was about right. It says the first transatlantic telephone cable to fiber optic was in 1988. And really 1990s is when they slowly started rolling them out. However, they were super expensive, so it seemed like 2000s is really when they started getting into critical mass. And even then, when they put it in my neighborhood in like 2005, it was still split. A bunch of people didn't go for it. So amazing, Crow. That might be one of the most well-dated jokes I've ever heard in Mystery Science Theater 3000. For a group of people that knows so much, that makes so many references to old actors and who this person looks like, to actually see into the future, know about fiber optic cables in 1990. Amazing. He really is a robot from the future. And that's it for Black Scorpion. It's a decent way to end Season 1, but I really still feel like there aren't any huge standouts for Season 1. But we're about to start Season 2 with Rocket Ship XM. And while it's not the best episode of Season 2, we see a bump up of the production values, the riffs come faster, the host segments are really good. I haven't been talking about the host segments in Season 1 that much because I don't think they're as good as the ones, but really, Season 2, they put a ton of effort and thought into the host segments, and I'll be talking about them a lot more. Also give a rating on the movie and the riffs. Since on Season 1, they're all fairly average, Season 2 has some real standouts, like Catalina Caper and Episode 2, Side Hackers. And now I'm getting really excited. So join us on our journey to review all 230 episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000. We're doing it. I've already gotten through the hard part, Season 1. Now it's all fun from here on out. Except for the plethora of Gamma Ray movies. Oh man, they review like a bunch of those. And Monster and Go-Go. Oh, I'm getting scared. Check out our playlist for All episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 we've covered. Black Mirror, Tales from the Dark Side, we do all episodes of those. Cowboy Bebop, Pet Shop of Horrors, Monsters and Fear Itself. Thanks a lot.